Megan, this game was all that we thought it was going to be. It was a run-centered, physical football game with Brookville ultimately getting the win 21-7, improving to 8-2 in the regular season and 5-2 in the Southwestern Buckeye League, and they put themselves in a great position for home field advantage heading into the playoffs, and here's how it happened. And we'll pick it up in the second quarter with no score. Franklin coming downfield on a holding call to put them at 3rd and 16, and why not air it up? But Junior Krieger, he's going to need some stickum. Goes right through his hands. And then coming up here on the very next play, Drew Isaacs on 4th and 16, hitting his running back, Hunter Prickett, in between a couple of defenders, stumbling into the end zone. He'll get up and celebrate as the Wildcats go up 7-0. But head coach Mike Hectrick talked about the fight of his Blue Devils team, and here they come. Grady Lamb punching it in for 6, but here's something critical coming up. A missed extra point, and Brookville goes down into the half, 7-6, but nonetheless, the Brookville faithful are loving it, and they will love the second half. Here they come. In the red zone, Tim Davis gets the handoff. Yep, I'll take that in for the score. Not a lot of passing tonight from the Brookville Blue Devils, but why not pull one out on this 2-point conversion? The throw, catch, and it's Corey Davis this time for the 2-point conversion, and Brookville goes up 14-7 and ultimately walks away with the win 21-7. Here's head coach Mike Hectrick after the victory.
We talked all week, if we get the job done tonight, we think we have a good shot of possibly having a home playoff game, so we'll have to see how things play out, but that's what we were shooting for this week, and I'm just happy for these guys. They earned it, they deserve it.
And that's a wrap for Thursday Night Lights, and this year it did not disappoint. And I'm already looking forward to next season, but for now, reporting in Brookville, Bennett Wise, Dayton 24/7 Now News. Megan and Adam, Ohio looks to join 32 other states in legally being able to bet on professional and collegiate sports on your smartphone, on your laptop, in casinos, and in restaurants.
People want this. Everywhere I go, the number one question I get is, when is legalized sports betting coming into Ohio?
The answer, hopefully soon, says State Senator Niraj Antani. He wants Senate Bill 176 signed into law before the end of the month, allowing state regulations and safety precautions to be in place before the next football season.
Bringing this into the sunshine and doing it in a regulated and safe manner will be good. That way we can ensure that people who are sort of problem bettors that are spiraling into a gambling addiction can be identified and treated.
The bill passed through the Senate, and a House report is coming soon before being voted on. All betting would be regulated by the Ohio Casino Control Commission and require bettors to be 21 or older. Bets could be placed on all professional and collegiate sports and events, but none with participants in high school or under the age of 18.
The state will make tax revenue off of this. I don't think that's why we should be doing this. We should be having as low of a tax rate as possible, because at the end of the day, this is a form of entertainment that people in Ohio want.
As currently written in the bill, and similar to casinos, 98% of tax revenue would be directed to the state for K-12 education, while the remaining 2% would go towards gambling addiction services.
Looking at our neighboring states who have legalized sports betting, that the call volume to their state helplines for gambling have increased exponentially. So we would expect a similar thing to happen here.
Are more calls for help, is that a good thing or a bad thing, or is it just going with the times as more stuff becomes legal?
Isn't that the question? So I think anytime we have an uptick in call volume, that means that people know who to call and they're getting help and resources.
According to the Problem Gambling Network of Ohio, 1 in 10 people are at risk for developing a gambling issue, and minority groups are twice as likely to develop problematic and disordered gambling.
There's a lot of stigma historically that's gone into those struggling with a gambling problem. So having the courage to pick up the phone and make that first call, it takes a lot.
Reporting in Dayton, Bennett Wise, Dayton 24/7 Now News. Things are calm here at night, but the water is always rushing thanks to these man-made rapids. These aren't just for the general public to have fun. It's created a friendship, and after that, a booming business.
I wouldn't call it an escape or a coping method. I would call it a lifestyle. I think Surf Dayton is a lifestyle. And
if you look at Riverscape Metro Park, you'll notice something. Look close. And just a little closer, you'll see a spreading community riding through the heart of downtown known as Surf Dayton.
I had Surf Dayton domain name and I let it expire. And then my buddy, he was like, hey, I just bought Surf Dayton domain name. And I was like, dude, I just let it expire. And he gave it back to me for free. And I was like, okay, I got to do something with it.
It started as a community website with a message board and information about the waves. And that's when Thomas realized he could run clinics. All he needed was a business partner, and where else to discover one than while surfing in the city?
We had a medic run. We have Grandview Hospital right here, and I saw the river feature. I realized you could surf, and one day Shannon just showed up like, "Who are you, dude?" And I was like, "I'm Jake." And I was like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Shannon." And it was just like instantaneous. We were like, became really good friends.
The two met at what's known as Art Wave in front of the Dayton Art Institute, and two more man-made waves are along Eastwood Lake and the Mad River.
It's a whitewater feature. I mean, you can surf any whitewater feature with a high enough volume board. And it's just very accessible. That's the thing. You can come here before work. I've taken lunch breaks.
Business and interest have grown from 30 clinics in the first season to 80 in the second, and they expect more as they begin year 3.
What it came down to, I think, was passion, and then we wanted people to be able to get to enjoy the thing that we were doing every day with no community. It's fun to have a wave all by yourself, but it's more fun when you get to share with somebody.
And despite the name Surf Dayton isn't just surfing, they also offer stand-up paddleboarding as well as rentals and apparel. And Thomas says in the meantime, the goal is to have more group sessions as well as camps and special events.
Ninth pick of the 2021 MLB Draft, the Los Angeles Angels select Sam.
Yeah, it's just surreal. It still hasn't set in.
Sam Bachman heads from Oxford to Anaheim.
I didn't think I was going to tear up, or I didn't even tear up as an understatement. I cried for sure, and it hit me really hard.
I just fell in trembling. He was shaking right beside me, so I knew something was up. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
And so is his talent. In 2021, Bachman threw 59 2/3 innings with 93 strikeouts and a 1.81 ERA in 12 starts. Major League scouts and his opponents were blown away by his command of a 100-mile-per-hour fastball and a devastating slider in the low 90s.
And that's a whole lot of sacrifice and doing things the right way and 100% buy-in. And that's really that conversation with Danny was, this is what can happen when a guy is fully bought into his process and really takes it one day at a time. And it was strictly one day at a time.
Miami head coach Danny Hayden saying the Angels are getting a good ball player, but a better person.
If you met Sam out on the street right now, you could talk to him for an hour, and I don't think he'd bring up that he even played baseball. Like he'd ask you questions about you. He'd be invested in the conversation to learn more about you, and that's the kind of humility and character that he has. And
hailing from Fishers, Indiana, Bachman only had 2 Division I offers out of high school. He credits the Miami coaching staff for preparing him even at the start of the pandemic, where Hayden says he would have been a 7th to 10th round pick.
Sam's perspective would not allow him to feel satisfied. What he did is he looked in the mirror that night and he said, like he told himself, I am not where I want to be as a pitcher yet. I feel like I could have just played my last game with some teammates, and I'm not sure I've given everything I have to this yet.
Bachman won't go straight to the big league roster, but for now, he'll continue living his life day by day.
Definitely just going to wake up, crush a lift, do my throwing. I got my routine I follow. I'm pretty strict with it. So definitely just stick to the plan and, keep my head down and keep working. It doesn't end here. And I definitely don't see the MLB draft as the end goal.
Reporting in Oxford, Bennett Wise, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Going into this first week, it's just going to be, I think, who takes care of the football and who tackles the best. I think those are going to be our 2 keys.
For the Eaton Eagles, it's been steady improvement. Since 2018, they finished 1-9, 3-7, and 5-5. Now, the bar is higher.
The team's working hard. I've seen a difference since I've been here since a freshman. Working a lot harder than we have. I think people are really here to change this year, and I think it's going to show.
It's a progression that comes with having 7 returning starters on offense and 8 on defense for the 2021 season. One replacement is junior quarterback Brock Ebright, who only threw 9 passes last year. And behind him is senior Aiden Williams, who averaged over 5 yards a carry.
Our playbook expanded a lot. We got a lot more better, just depth in our playbook and just a lot more different things that'll make us a lot better than last year.
This group understands that expectations are high. We're actually vocalizing some of those expectations in that locker room. Not that we didn't have expectations in the previous year, but with all the experience we have back, we're kind of spelling it out for them that we expect big things this season.
Skill position depth is where Greenville looks to flourish with a slew of upperclassmen at wideout and running back, plus a second-year starter Hayden Bush under center.
Being able to read the defense has been a big key for me, knowing the right guys to read and just having a pre-snap read and having an overall idea of what I'm supposed to do before I get the ball. it's been a big factor in change from last year to this year.
Bush threw for over 800 yards and scored 5 times through the air and twice with his legs in his junior year. And he has 3 of his 4 top pass catchers back for 2021. Along both lines, the Green Wave are young but athletic, and head coach Bart Schmitz wants to use them to control space along the edges.
We got to play fundamentally sound football. From an offensive standpoint, they give us some things, I think, out on the edge that we can take advantage of. And then defensively, we just got to keep the quarterback in the box and control the line of scrimmage. They got a nice running back, and they got some really nice athletes out on the edge.
And when I asked Coach Schmitz what it would take to get a win come Thursday night,
not turning the ball over is number one, and then number two is being able to match their physicality and then control the line of scrimmage. If we can control the line of scrimmage up front, that'll allow our offense to do whatever we want, but it all starts up front.
and if we look at past records, this truly is a coin toss. In the last 9 years, Eaton holds a 5-4 advantage in the matchup standings, but a 2-2 split when playing at Miami Valley North Hospital Stadium. Bennett Wise for Thursday Night Lights. The basketball tournament, or TBT, is a single elimination tournament of up to 64 teams of former college and current professional basketball players from around the world. This year, the championship is at UD Arena, and a group of former Flyers wants that home court edge, which started by leading local kids in a camp. Ryan Mikesell, Kyle Davis, and Joey Gruden all overlapping in their time at the University of Dayton and coming together to teach and get ready for the TBT come July.
It's just all about perspective, getting the opportunity to play basketball. It's a game we've grown up and seeing the kids play and laugh and have fun out here. It gives you kind of a refreshing feeling.
The TBT was the first live basketball event to take place in the pandemic, with the Red Scare, led by GM, coach, and former UD walk-on Joey Gruden, taking the former Flyers to the semifinals.
It is a little weird. I was worried about it last year, just coaching them. I just been their friends for 4 years, and now they got to listen to me and take directions from me, so I was a little nervous.
Gruden, the son of former Washington football team head coach Jay and nephew of Flyer football legend John, says his transition from playing to coaching his teammates was pretty easy since that mutual respect was always there.
Joey, he's always kind of been that coach for me, even when I was in college. When I struggled a little bit when I was younger, Joey was always one to kind of pick me up and kind of help me out on the bench.
But don't let that coaching title fool you. Gruden still got it.
I still like to get in there and practice with them, so we only have about 9 guys. I usually make 10 and run up and down with them, still get my cardio in. But yeah, they're a little bit better than me, so I like coaching a little bit better than playing.
What the team will like better is getting in front of that Gem City crowd come August 3rd.
It was bittersweet losing last year, and to be able to come back this year and know that the championship game is in our home city that we played in, it's exciting.
The roster is still coming together, but Gruden plans on doing a 4 to 5 day mini training camp before the first set of games in July. All players, though, are current pros here and overseas and played together at UD, and Gruden says that, mixed with common basketball knowledge, his game plan, and the UD attitude, the Red Scare is coming.
This growing up, I probably would have gotten the tricks way sooner. But then you get somewhere sick like this, like made by skaters for skaters. They know what you want to skate, so it's actually fun.
Skaters are sliding their way into Claridge Park, carving the way for the first skate park in Dayton's history.
We met with the residents of their neighborhood, kind of proposed our plans, told that we wanted to bring new life into this park, because this park was underused for probably at least 10 years, if not more.
And the neighbors are on board for Schweitzer's plan 20 years in the making. He's backed by the city, local companies who donated supplies and materials, and a local nonprofit assisting with fundraising. They've already raised more than half of their $25,000 goal.
You have a finished surface here. We could go in basically on something that was underutilized, almost not utilized, and really transform it. So I think on a number of levels, what's interesting about skating, that now it's an Olympic sport. It crosses age, it crosses gender, it crosses race.
The park is not finished, but Schweitzer wanted some aspects up before the winter. A step to establish the park before filling the entire area in the spring.
This is an amenity that people travel for. There are skate parks in Centerville, there's skate parks in Washington Township and Kettering, and people will travel for those. But now they can come to Dayton and use a skate park.
Schweitzer electing to do a DIY project, bringing down the costs, allowing it to be designed by skaters, and most importantly, getting the community involved.
We're trying to also get people active, get them to use their skills that they may not even know that they have, and try something new. We need more skate parks.
Reporting in Dayton, Bennett Wise, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Really important, like it's my happy place. I enjoy being here and playing baseball.
Meet Brady Scott, a 12-year-old from Springboro and an official member of the University of Dayton baseball team.
Yes, sir. Oh, nice done right there, boys.
In 2014, Brady was diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome, where his body negatively reacts to certain foods and stressors.
You play soccer, you get a snack. If you go to school, there's a snack, So he had a little bit of a different road, not being able to do those kind of things. Plus, he never left my site because I had to cook for him and bring special food for him.
His road took a right turn toward Werner Field and the UD baseball program through an organization called Team Impact. Their goal is connecting children with chronic illnesses to sports teams to improve their quality of life.
Get him, Brady! Get him, Brady!
When I first signed, I was nervous, but then once I met Pat and Connor, my two favorites, it was really fun.
He's like a spark plug, so he's always full of energy. When he shows up and he's not full of energy, we get on him. But he just loves being around the guys. He loves being a part of the team.
So much so that Brady has traveled to games in Virginia and North Carolina and soon to Michigan. And Brady, Coach King, and the players say they have become a big family.
I have two little brothers, and I just think about him as my little brother. Like, every time we come to the field and we see him, it just brightens our day type of thing.
You don't need words to describe what's happening when it's really right, like it is with him. And I think that's really the special part of it, is just seeing what happens.
Because Brady would rather let his actions in his happy place speak for themselves, or he'll say at least once,
"Go Flyers."
Reporting in Dayton, Bennett Wise, Dayton 24/7 Now News.